Bring it on, gates open, they're off on the Herbie Dyke Stakes. Favourite Soriano settles next, followed by Shuka. Ponderosa Miss in Nashville, back near the tail, some of the big guns. Next on the inside, Soriano from Surpass, 2 lengths away to Shuka. Then Ponderosa Miss, and still last is Nashville. Nashville out wide, coming after them now, Soriano right through on the inside. Fast Dragon still there, but it's Nashville. Nashville's out wide, made the lead. Now Soriano's getting out and charging on the inside. Nashville and Soriano. Rory's done it again. Soriano gets another Group 1. Another gem of a ride by Rory Hutchings. He was pinching runs along the inside. He was going where angels would fear to tread.
Was a great rider, Rory's. He told me he was going to ride the fence, and it shows you he is a great Group 1 rider.
Soriano wins the Group 1 Herbie Dyke Stakes there at Te Rapa on Saturday for Graeme and Debbie Rogerson and rider Rory Hutchings. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to Weigh In. It's been a huge week in many respects, and the boys are back to try and squeeze as much into the next hour or so as we possibly can. Butch on the freshen up. Good evening, and how was the golf? Well, at least they told us you were playing golf, but you weren't.
No, I was watching the golf, but Queenstown's a wonderful place. It's like a Saturday every night down there, and we found some great golf courses, some fantastic restaurants, and had a good time. So, yep, freshened up, ready to go.
And I'm sure you found the TAB too.
Yeah, found one of those.
Yes. Twiggy's here as well, and I guess on a down sort of side, the starting gates, I don't know, it's come up again, hasn't it? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Darryl. So, yes, it has, and there'll be no one more disappointed than Stephen Orchard. I guess he sponsored the race and had the very short price favourite in, and his horse was unfortunately one of the horses that was didn't go round. So, no, it is disappointing, but it's been addressed, and we're going to talk about it a bit later on.
All right, thank you. If you'd like to get in contact with us via social media, we're on facebook.com/weighinshow, at weighinshow on Twitter, and you can email us as well, weighin@nzracingboard.co.nz. Lee Thittis and Rory Hutchings are coming up, but our first guest is the co-trainer of Soriano, Graeme Rogerson. Rogie, thanks for coming in. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Look, you said, and you've said for a long time, that she's a really good mare, and up until Boxing Day, she'd been a bit of a Group 1 bridesmaid, but since then, she's really come of age, hasn't she?
I think she's had 9 starts, hasn't she, in Group 1 races. She's had 2 wins and 6 placings. So she's going good, and I just think the last 2 months she's going to another level, and her track work and her whole demeanour and has risen, and I think Rory might have risen with her. So hopefully my training might have risen a bit too. I've had a bit of practice, and it is great to win these Group 1s. And I do know a bit about Soriano, and I've trained, quite a few of her relatives, and mother and father and grandmother.
It's a real family affair, isn't it, Graeme? You were saying off air before that, of course, you trained the mum, Call Me Lily, you trained her father, just a dancer, right through. There's so many of the family that you've had, and you've had a bit of practice with her as well. She was racing in good races as a 2-year-old. She's got amazing longevity.
She won her first start, the races, yeah.
Yeah, she won James McDonald rode her at Te Rapa, and then I ran her in a Group 1.
Yep,
she was a little bit unlucky. She ran fourth.
Yep.
And she was a little bit unlucky a few times as 3-year-olds, but I think she was probably a little bit unlucky because she wasn't mature. And
of her 40 starts, she's run 35 of them have been at stakes level.
Yeah, well, she's certainly run in Group 1 races, and I think now she only runs in Group 1s.
Yeah, she's won over 750,000 in prize money now, so she's doing her job, eh?
Well, I think she's just started winning, and she can race for a lot more money now.
Great to see her go around in those colours as well. I mean, Denise has been a real integral part of Rogerson racing for many years. I was trying to work out how many. You were telling me about 40.
Yeah, she's been there 40 years, and I suppose we get a bit of practice. We've syndicated a lot of horses. She does race a lot of horses now, and she does breed a lot of horses. She's bought another lot of horses at the yearling sale. So she's spending her money, and
she doesn't get to the races very often, but she did get there on Saturday, didn't she?
I don't know what made her come Saturday. I haven't seen her at the races for a long time.
It was good to see, though, wasn't it?
But it was great to see, and she went, and it's good, and she's been great to Rory, and she certainly helped Rory. And it's funny how things happen. Well, I was waiting to go on the show today. The International Racing Bureau rang up. She's been invited to the QE2 Cup in Hong Kong, which is 2 weeks after the Queen Elizabeth in Sydney, and 2 weeks after that they'll fly her down to Singapore for the international. So hopefully her international career might be just taking off. And Denise
Rory's as well, do you think? Rory, will he go with her?
Rory, well, he's strapper, he's jockey, he'll be owner's manager. Yeah. Rory's everything. We just got to share everything. Rory.
I'll take your share. I'll have your share, not Rory's share, all right?
But Denise told me this morning, she came down and had a look at her. When we weighed her this morning, she's 516 kilos. That she is going to race her on for another year. She's very sound, and she spends a lot of time in the Aqua Walker. She was in there this morning, and we're deciding we're going to do a blood run on Wednesday. If no stress levels or anything in the blood, we're going to run her at Otaki Saturday week in the mile, rather than give her a month between runs to the Air New Zealand. Right. So we may see her in the Haunui Group 1, the mile, and then into the Air New Zealand before she goes off to Sydney. And
you're saying with your facilities, the Aqua Walker, and you're saying before we come on air that she went into the paddock for 3 hours after she came home from the races, and they go down in the truck and pick her up at 8 o'clock and come back and feed her, put her away. That's something you practice with all your horses, Graeme?
Well, you don't have to get the truck to go down. You just walk down the farm. We own the farm next door and the farm down the back. So she goes out into the thing, but we have got Hamilton. We got great facilities, and like she does all the work on the grass track and that. It's certainly wonderful, and it makes training a little bit easier. But then she is a good horse, and hopefully we treat her like a good horse.
Yeah, you do. And look, she went so close to winning a Group 1 mile the start before. You know, she very close. 2,000 metres their optimum trip, though?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, although you've got to say in the last probably 3 months, her track work on Tuesday morning was just phenomenal. And horses like, you know, when Savabeel won a Cox Plate, and, you know, some great mares I've had, like Grand Archway Skating and Yurtiz and those sort. This mare has got to their level now. And I just think it's how good she can get, I don't know. But it'll be a good race, the Air New Zealand.
New Zealand Stakes. It's the Air New Zealand used to sponsor it 100 years ago. It's the Ronald McDonald House New Zealand Stakes, but that's all right.
The New Zealand Stakes. It'll be a great race, and I think it'll be a great stepping stone for Sydney. I think the Queen Elizabeth, hopefully, you know, be great if she could go there and win that.
$4 million race these days.
Yeah, it's 2.4 million to the winner.
I think Roger knows. I don't think you need to tell him how much it's worth.
And then the Hong Kong race is 3 million.
And 1.8 million to the winner.
And it's another 3 million in Singapore. And then hopefully, my intention with it is we'll spell her, and that she'll run at Hawke's Bay in the spring. And I'd like to think she could then go to the Cox Plate. And then whether she gets further aboard, like Japan or that, we'll just wait and see after the spring. But we're setting our, our sights high with her. So it'll be a great international experience for Rory. I've been lucky. I've been a few times myself, and I'll probably have to send Debbie with her. And whether I go along and have a look, we'll wait and see.
All right. You mentioned Savabeel, and we'll get to Savabeel in a moment. Let's first of all hear from the Beaten Brigade.
Look, he went absolutely super. He felt enormous today, hit the line really strong. He was just beaten by a really good horse who didn't have to go around a horse, so yeah, really happy with the run.
You had visions of winning?
I had the winning poster in my sights. I thought I was home, so I was very disappointed to see that horse sneak up my inside, but I mean, full credit to my horse, he went awesome.
Yeah, it's a great effort. He's led them up, just been attacked on the line, and lost a couple of head bobbers.
No, we got a nice run the whole way, and he fought quite well to the line. It was a good run, looking forward towards the Auckland Cup.
Yeah, 100% better, mate. She felt a lot better than she did at Wellington, and I was following Soriano, and he come to turn up. I thought, I'm in this, and halfway up, she just didn't let down like she normally can, but I wouldn't lose faith in her, mate. I was really happy with her, especially after that bit of virus she had, so next start I'll let you know.
Yeah, she was probably a little bit disappointing, Butch, wasn't she, Ponderosa Miss? But as Noel alluded to, she has had her issues in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, she has, but he also said she was better than she was at Wellington, so that was a good sign. Look, the winner was outstanding. The second horse went massive. Nashville went super. Fast Dragons raced out of his skin. What's he, a 60-odd rated horse, 70-something rated horse 2 starts ago, and he's raced out of his skin at weight for age. The fourth horse, hindsight's a great thing, probably stick to the fence, would have held Rory up and might have run in the money, but following Fast Dragon elected to come off. So it's about the winner really. She's an outstanding mare.
Sure is. What about Shuka, Twiggy?
Yeah, I think they had an excuse today, Butch. He pulled up and
yeah, he had an issue injury-wise.
Injury-wise, only a minor
superficial,
one, superficial one, and he'll have no problem going forward. But I think it was certainly enough to affect him on the day.
Let's talk about your 2-year-olds before we talk about Savabeel. Your 2-year-olds, gee, you started the season just in, I think, did you win the first 10 2-year-old races or 12? It seemed like that anyway. Whenever a 2-year-old race popped up, it was G.1 Rogerson that trained the winner.
Yeah, I think we had a dozen or so. You know, but some of those horses have gone out, and Maritimo's gone out now. She just didn't quite handle the pressure of a big race, and she's gone out, and she'll be back in the spring. Our filly for the Group 1 race is Soriano Miss. She's trialling tomorrow, and she'll run in the Matamata Breeders and hopefully in the Diamond Stakes. I put her in the Group 1 in Sydney. Savasun, we think's a very good horse. He comes back tomorrow. He'll go to Wellington on the 14th of March and then into the Manawatu Sires. So we've got some nice horses still to race.
She's a lovely big hunk of a filly, that Soriano Miss. We just saw her on screen. She's a beautiful big filly, isn't she?
I think she's the real McCoy. I didn't put her in the Karaka Million because she's 17 hands. And I didn't think she was
17 hands when you bought her, wasn't she?
She was
massive, wasn't she?
She's a great big filly, but I think she's something special. So she'll go around. It'll be interesting. I don't know who Debbie's going to put on her at Matamata. Rory was in line, but he's going to probably go down and ride Soriano, so I'm not sure.
Okay, just quickly, the unraced Fastane Rocky. Heard on the radio that may have met a pretty sad demise.
Yeah, it was bad luck. He got an infection in his hock and he got it operated on. Wasn't major, and he got laminitis and penicillin and laminitis. It ended up and it took a toll on him, and he was put down. It was sad really because he was some special horse, and a little bit lucky that Patrick's given Debbie the half-sister to train by Command's a beautiful filly. So, I mean, Katie Lee, she was a great horse, and I think he was a genuine Group 1 horse, but he's no longer with us, and it was just, that's one of the ups and downs of racing.
Yeah, terribly sad. Just staying with the 2-year-olds, let's just reflect quickly on race number 2 there at Te Rapa on Saturday, which was won by Dazzling Lady, who withstood the late charge, Butch, of She Is Striking in the green.
Yeah, she did. Finding the front and the rail was the trick early in the day at Te Rapa for sure. There appeared to be a spot you wanted to be. Dazzling Lady got there and she kept finding a kick. She'll improve from it too. Hadn't raced for some time, went second behind Selfie in that race we couldn't see when the power went out at Avondale. The second horse has run a really strong race, and of course Twiggy, you once wanted to get off the track a bit.
Yeah, no, you wanted to do a few things wrong. I think our initial plan was to ride him quiet. You know, we drew barrier 8 out of 9, and we wanted to ride him quiet and just give him a good experience to hit the line. It wasn't about winning on Saturday. It was more looking forward with the Diamond Stakes in view. But yeah, he'll go to the paddock now. He's had a terrible experience, and we'll just have to let him get his mind right. He'll be right. He's a nice horse.
Second filly's a good filly too, I think.
Yeah,
the leader and the
she'll be a lovely
the
3-year-old,
the
the second
horse,
won't she?
Yeah. She's got good experience now. I'd imagine that both of those would press towards Matamata to the fillies race there.
Yeah.
Okay, race number 4 on the card was the Special Conditions 1600 and Pippi Beale by Savabeel, which will be a nice segue back to Graeme in a moment. Now, 2 from 2 this prep, Butch.
Yeah, she was good at Hastings. She brained them there, and then come out and fought a real tooth and nail battle with Aotearoa here, who's got a string of seconds to her name again. you probably thought momentarily that the second horse was going to win this race, but she chopped legs there, did Pippi Beale, and she's really pinned her ears back and attacked the line. Massive margin back to the third one, which is the secret for
massive margin. Yet both horses obviously have plenty of ability. You know, Murray Baker, Opie Boss, and Savabeel. It's just goes without saying, doesn't it? Just tough, fit, class.
It was interesting after the race. They interviewed Murray, and he said, "We've always had a massive opinion of this filly, and she ran last as a 2-year-old." He said, "Well, how do you think we felt? We felt terrible. What do you do?" Turned her out, came back, trialled, won really well at Hastings, and then smashed it.
Haval was disappointing.
Yeah, well, it went
obviously
up in the gates.
Had a few, never
so
got
once
into the race
once it had gone up in the gates, it lost all chance.
Yeah,
really.
she's sweaty too, wasn't she? Obviously the day got to her a little bit, I thought.
Graeme, you told us how good Savabeel was as a racehorse. Could you have imagined how good he would have performed as a stallion so early?
No, it was great. I actually bred Pippi Beale and sold it at the sales to Murray with Paul Smithy. And Murray Baker's been great. He bought Savoya off me too by Savabeel. Savabeel was a great horse. His win in the Cox Plate was enormous. I think, you know, his mother was a good horse. She was New Zealand 3-year-old filly of the year, went to Australia and won a Group 1 and had a bone chip. I put her in foal as Zabeel, and he was a foal at foot and sold a package to Jerry Harvey, and lucky enough I bought him back as Zabeel, and I've still got a little interest in him today. I think he's something New Zealand's very proud of, and I think if you can get a service to him, you're very lucky, and I just think he's something. You can train him hard, you can race them hard, and they seem to be getting better.
It's very important for the New Zealand industry that he's stepping up into those shoes that have been left by Zabeel. It's so important that you look at the sales and you see the Australians wandering around, they go to the drafts and they want to have a look at the Savabeels. So they're coming across, they're looking to buy them, but while they're there, they're looking at others as well. Very important to our industry.
I think he's just great for New Zealand. You know,
he's the hottest sire in Australasia. He's the hottest sire in Australasia without a doubt. He shares the same stakes runners to winners as Fastnet Rock does. He's $60,000 Fastnet Rock, $275,000 for a service. So, you know, put that into perspective.
Yeah.
I think his service fee might be going up.
Are you on the committee?
Yes, I am on the committee. But anyone that can buy a Zavabeel or get a Zavabeel, good luck to them.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, sure. Before you go, we've got a segment in the show called 10 in 60, where you've got to answer 10 questions in 60 seconds. You up for it?
Oh, gee, that's very... I'm a bit slower now, you know.
You're only allowed 60 seconds.
60 seconds,
okay.
Roger.
Yeah, and Paul's our timekeeper. He'll tell us when we're ready to go.
Okay, time starts now.
Your favourite horse?
Soriano.
Best horse of yours not to win a Group 1?
Jacinto.
Cox Plate with Savabeel or Melbourne Cup with Efficient?
Oh, great. Cox Plate.
Best jockey you've seen?
Rory Hutchings.
What does Roger do to relax?
Race a few trotters.
I'll come to that in a moment. Your best training partner? Answer this carefully, yeah. New Zealand racing or Australian racing?
I like New Zealand racing.
Your first impression of Rory?
I thought there was a chance, and the chance has worked out great.
What's the race that Roger would love to win?
Oh, any race. I like winning at Wairau.
10 seconds to go.
Why harness racing?
Oh, it's a relief and for me, and I like it. And Michelle Northcote and my granddaughter Bailey, they were into harness racing, so I support them.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for being on the show today, and congratulations once again on your success with Soriano, and we'll be watching her with a lot of interest, going obviously back to Otaki, to Ellerslie, to Sydney, to Hong Kong, to Singapore.
Oh, well, she'll get a passport, and I think Denise likes to travel, and I think the trainer doesn't mind a trip too.
Good on you, Graeme. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, Graeme Rogerson with us here on Weigh In. We're back with more in a moment.
Ooh.
Coming up on Weigh In, the panel are joined by Leith Ennis after Vavasor triumphed in the Group 2 Fillies Classic, and the team review the Group 1 NRM Sprint, in which Sacred Star once again proved too classy.